What's going on? Welcome to my next video for drawing dynamic poses for reference. And for this video, I chose to draw Madara Uchiha. And this one I got from requests. So I said, okay, let me draw another anime from reference pose. So with this video, I decided to show the process of me creating the pose, and then halfway through, I added the details to it, and which would be like a sped up version of it. So for this particular pose, I got from Pinterest, and I decided to pick one. There was like multiple poses with him in it, but I decided to do one with him in perspective, showing the top-down view, because I like doing a lot of those. And as you can see, I started out with the head, and I started to make the structured lines across the head to show in 3D where the eyes will be placed, because it's in a kind of a spherical space. And so I put the circles for the eyes, and I put like a kind of a circle for the nose also. And sometimes I add a circle for the nose if I'm going to have the nose tilted up. But for this particular one, I just put a circle there just so that I know where the nose is going to be. Now for the neck, I always drop that down. And even though when I'm making a pose and I'll draw the neck, sometimes even if the neck is hidden, I like to take the neck and just draw it fully out and then erase it accordingly as I draw the chest. So right now I'm adding the chest in, which is, this time it's not a bean shape, it's more of just creating a circle. I'm just finding big shapes and placing them to figure out the rest of the pose. I kind of just like taking shapes and placing them in to measure out and figure out where the pose is going to go. That way, when I start adding in details later, I can just jot down and start throwing in all the details that I need to do to create the character or the figure. Now I added that center line, and it's kind of a way for me to separate also, to know where things will meet as far as if I'm doing the chest or abs or certain things like that. But I always like to kind of add a center line. So it's kind of like a little action line I like to add. Sometimes I add one, according to the pose. I may drop it in some action lines like real fast, and then will just add shapes around that. It's kind of a easy way to do like to make the pose more dynamic. And so right now I'm adding the cylinders for the legs. And you see as I'm adding the cylinder, I'm making it bigger from the top, and then as it's going down, the perspective is getting smaller. And it's kind of a way to trick my eye into seeing that it's going down, or that it's getting smaller. So I'm adding in the other side, adding in the second leg. And even though the perspective lines are in my head, and even though I'm going off reference, you still kind of have to keep a general idea of where the lines would be if you're drawing a perspective or you hit a perspective grid. And it just takes a lot of practice. The more you practice doing perspective poses, the more it will just stick in your head. I would say you start doing a lot of standing poses, whether it's standing forward or backwards, and then after that, spend the week just drawing them in different angles and perspective, like whether it's top down or foreshortened. That way you can build your knowledge of drawing these characters in weird angles and perspective. So right now the pose is done. And for this part, I decided to use my kneaded eraser to erase everything, make it real light. That way I can kind of just go over it with the details and add in to create the character. And sometimes it's best to do a lot of thumbnails of whatever character that you're making. That way you can just easily just create a pose, draw the shapes out, find all the big shapes, and then just use your own character that you drew as reference to drop in those details. That way you can add in the lines and the shapes the same way I'm doing right now. It just takes a lot of practice and fine tuning, and the more you start to do it, the more it will stick to you and the easier it'll get. And so even right now, I'll maybe erase a few times, but you'll see me drawing the lines, and as I'm creating the lines, I'm going over lines over and over again with the pencil, because I'm trying to figure it out while I'm drawing it in there, and not trying to make it too crazy. Or I may make the lines light and then go back over it darker with the pencil, or I might just make it light and erase it. But I don't think I made any changes on this one. I kind of just went along with it. I'm just drawing it to have fun with it, so I didn't really erase too much on this one. But the general idea for this is just to have fun with it, not getting too crazy with it, since you're drawing from reference anyway. You're just using it more of a study practice. That way, the more you draw it, the more you learn from it. Initially, I haven't been drawing like this. I think a few years ago, I didn't start doing this until maybe about a year ago where I started doing it like this. And to me, this is an easier way of doing it. Like I like doing it this way. That way, I'll have the base thing shapes in there, and then I just go over top of it and then just dropping details. That way, either way, if I was going to ink it, I have to erase it again anyway. So just because this looks just like or similar to what the reference looks, doesn't mean that yours have to look the same way. You can use your own character or create something else with the same pose. The point of all these videos are just to give you a general idea of how to create shapes to make poses, that we can either make a pose from reference or create your own pose. It's up to you. I've also had a few questions for the way I shade. I like to use cross hatching. It's kind of like my quick way of sketching. I've been used to doing that since I was in high school, and that's kind of like my main go-to method for shading. But I like doing it, especially if I'm using a pencil. I use it with pen too, with a small pen, just to get those quick shades in. And I also would use Copic markers also, which you see me did or done in my previous videos. But that's it for this video. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment for any other videos you want to see or any other tutorials, and take care.